What's the point if AI can do it? I'm asking a serious question. If AI is doing the work, what are we doing? Because the average man or woman is highly unlikely to seriously benefit from AI taking everyone's jobs. So I'm curious what we'll all be sticking around for. If enjoying life at a basic level becomes more and more impossible, I don't think access to ChatGPT is going to render the population fulfilled. Now, I can acknowledge that we all would appreciate some support in our daily endeavors, like assisting with mundane or repetitive tasks, or even someone to bounce ideas off of. I can acknowledge that there is so much to be done constantly, and it's tough doing it alone. Additionally, for many of us, acquiring help from another human being can be expensive. I do understand the surface level appeal of turning to generative AI to be more efficient, but at the same time, I see it as us, humanity, losing the plot. Consider the Dark Ages, where so much knowledge was lost during the fall of Rome. I do believe we are at risk of a similar cultural shift where many people will lack the skill level or the skill knowledge to maintain agency over their lives. Students in high school and college classes are no longer relying on their own ability to recall, consider, or reflect. Instead, they are passing the burden to AI programs, not truly understanding the personal development they are forfeiting. Poverty makes us systemically vulnerable and is derived from a lack of access. The more we outsource skill to something non human, we widen the gap between those who access valuable skills and those that don't. I am personally someone who is naturally competitive, with myself mostly, and someone who values self improvement. I take pride in developing any skill that I take on, and I also believe that the work that I do is a reflection of myself. So, from where I'm standing, relying on AI removes the magic that comes with watching yourself elevate, whether mentally, physically, or spiritually. When I bear witness to the results of my own innovation, I get emotional. There is so much power that washes over you when you create something through your own efforts. It feels like unlocking something. All that work, that practice, made a difference that you feel in your spirit. You begin to think differently because you've gone through a metamorphosis. Shocking yourself with your own abilities can be humbling because it is a call to action. You just proved to yourself that there is no longer any excuse, that you can't be more if you want to. Whenever I take on a task that appears challenging or difficult, I think of a challenging task that I completed in the past, and I remind myself that if I was able to get through that one challenge, then there's a good chance that I can do it again. Difficulty is not something you must always run from. Difficulty is often the lock, and it's your willingness to be better that is the key. Besides, how can you value something truly if you've never sacrificed, employed discipline, or otherwise worked for it? One of my favorite lines comes from a poem by Ocean Vuong titled Head First, in which he states, "The body is a blade that sharpens by cutting." I live by this line because it echoes the sentiment I have regarding pushing forth through difficulties and challenges. The reward for your willingness to take on challenges head first is inherent in your performance thereafter. You only become harder and harder to defeat. You learn how to not fail. You learn to be reliable to yourself and others. And you can only be the weapon if you are willing to fight. Ultimately, it is our experiences that build us, and a fine foundation is well rounded, intentional, and made to last. Personally, I want to last. I want to be sustainable, and thus I must be self reliant. Every skill learned, conquered, mastered is another tool at my disposal. And the development of my brain, which I consider to be the tool that is the most valuable to me, is non negotiable. That is where my ability to brainstorm and innovate lies. The function of my brain is at the heart of my survival. So I make sure that I'm aware of AI, but I refuse to use it when I'm not forced to, as in, my employer requires that I use XYZ for ABC. Otherwise, I will be writing my own essays, emails, and TikTok captions. I will build my own concepts and rely on my own knowledge. If I need more information, I will seek it out and I will study. I will read the full text, and most importantly, I will make my own art.